Good evening, you're watching KiniNews and I'm your host Prasad. Arul Kanda, the former CEO of 1MDB, could soon be the prosecution's star witness against Najib, and it appears Arul is prepared to stand by the statement he gave to the MACC. Former 1MDB CEO Arul Kanda Kandasamy is prepared to testify against Najib Abdul Razak at the Kuala Lumpur High Court. Arul Kanda will be testifying for the prosecution in the 1MDB audit report case. Defence counsel N Sivananthan reiterated that his client Arul Kanda is standing by his statement recorded by the MACC in the case involving Najib. The lawyer said this to trial judge Mohamed Zaini Mazlan during today's hearing of the prosecution's bid to call Arul Kanda as a star witness against the former Prime Minister. Sivananthan said Arul Kanda is concerned over whether the co-accused would be granted an acquittal right after his testimony. Previously, Najib's lead counsel, Muhammad Abdullah, indicated that they would object to the application. The lawyer contended that the application raises problems involving the federal constitution. Najib is charged with using his position to order amendments to 1MDB's final audit report before it was presented to the Public Accounts Committee to prevent any action against him. Co-accused Arul Kanda was charged with abetting Najib in making the amendments. Anwar Musa says the government is stable. However, UMNO veteran Puat Zarkashi is worried that Ismail Sabri's government is too weak to even attract investors.
UMNO Supreme Council member Mohamed Puat Zarkashi said that everyone, including foreign investors, knows that the central government today is one with a weak majority. He added that due to this, it can be threatened, tied up, oppressed, disrespected and abandoned at any time. Puat said this in response to Communications and Multimedia Minister Anwar Musa, who had rejected calls for the general election to be expedited. Puat said that Anwar should not underestimate the wisdom of the people in opting for a stable government, which was seen in the Malacca, Sarawak and Johor state elections. He also highlighted the case of Zuraida Kamarudin as an example, saying that when she left Bersatu, many parties demanded that her ministerial post should be vacated as it belonged to their party. He said that there was also pressure from those who wanted the Deputy Prime Minister post. Puat added that those who want the general election to be delayed are those who are afraid of not being re-nominated and are afraid of losing their posts too soon. Yesterday, Anwar was reported to have said that the government led by Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob was a stable government with the support of all parties, including the opposition. Therefore, he said there was no urgent need at this time to dissolve Parliament to enable the 15th general election to be held.
And the back and forth continues, with Anwar saying Puat isn't even in a position to comment on the general election. Ketere MP Anwar Musa has hit back at UMNO Supreme Council member Mohamed Puat Zarkashi. The former UMNO Secretary General said only those with authority should talk about when the 15th general election should be held. Anwar said this is because anything related to the general election is still too vague, as UMNO's top leadership have yet to decide on the matter.
Pertama, adakah parti sudah buat keputusan bila nak pilihan raya? Belum. Yang duk cakap tu individu. Jadi bila individu, you all tidak tengok pula pada local standard dia. Kalau nak cakap tu biarlah presiden, timbalan presiden, ahli majlis tertinggi. Itulah orang-orang yang berautoriti bercakap soal bila.
He said this in a press conference after attending his ministry's Excellent Service Award 2021 at the Communications and Multimedia Ministry in Putrajaya today. Anwar was responding to a statement by Puat Zarkashi, who had slammed him for rejecting the call for G15 to be held as soon as possible. Puat had also said Anwar should not belittle the wisdom of the Rakyat, who chose a stable government in the Malacca, Sarawak and Johor state polls. Some of the details emerging from high-profile court cases is worrying Pakatan Harapan, like how someone was paid 30,000 ringgit a month to do nothing.
Pakatan Harapan has called on the government to step up their fight against corruption. This came following an increase in news related to alleged corrupt acts. In a statement today, the Pakatan Harapan Presidential Council cited revelations made in two ongoing high-profile graft trials. They highlighted the testimony of the former Chief Secretary to the government, Mohamed Sadiq Hassan, in the 1MDB trial. where he said he did not attend any 1MDB advisory board meetings, despite being appointed into the board with monthly wages of 30,000 ringgit. They also cited UMNO President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi's trial, where a former director of Ultra Kirana Sendirian Berhad alleged that Zahid had received between 200,000 to 520,000 Singaporean dollars a month. They added that the former director had also implicated Khairi Jamaluddin with claims that contributions of between 50,000 to 200,000 ringgit were made to UMNO's Rembau division. The director had claimed that contributions were made to the UMNO division as political aid and for disaster relief and humanitarian activities. Another former UKSB director had also testified that money from the company to Zahid was a political donation and not for corrupt purposes. Pakatan Harapan said both cases are particularly troubling, not only because they involve senior political figures, but also key civil service figures. They said therefore few reforms and few actions need to be implemented by the government immediately, including expediting the political funding bill and placing the MACC under the jurisdiction of Parliament.
Buzz Lightyear may be a space ranger, but he's not welcome here in Malaysia. To infinity and beyond may be Buzz Lightyear's catchphrase, but Malaysia is somewhere even Lightyear can't touch. Malaysia is among 14 Middle Eastern and Asian countries that will not approve the screening of Pixar's latest movie, Lightyear. The animated movie is also unlikely to appear in China, the world's largest movie market. According to Reuters, a Lightyear producer said that authorities in China had asked for cuts to the movie, which Disney declined to make. The film depicts a same-sex couple who share a brief kiss, which prompted the UAE to ban the film. In many Middle Eastern countries, homosexuality is considered criminal. Reuters also reported that representatives of other countries did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Lightyear is a prequel to Pixar's acclaimed Toy Story franchise. Chris Evans voices the lead actor Buzz Lightyear, a legendary space ranger. In the film, Buzz's close friend is a female space ranger who marries another woman. A scene showing milestones in the couple's relationship includes a brief kiss. Lightyear is set to debut in theaters in the United States and Canada this Friday. Did you know the Bon Odori Festival was held in Kota Bharu 4 years ago? This has prompted a DAP lawmaker to question why the festival is a problem now.
DAP's Banting State Assembly person Lau Wang San has questioned why PAS suddenly had a problem with the Bon Odori Festival in Shah Alam when it didn't have any issues with it in Kota Bharu 4 years ago. He said this in response to PAS advising Muslims not to attend the Bon Odori Festival in Shah Alam next month. According to Lau, the Bon Odori dance was part of a cultural event held at the Dewan Jubilee Perak Majlis Perbandaran Kota Bharu Bandaraya Islam in November 2018. He said he had received a newsletter from the Japan Foundation in 2018 promoting the event, which was meant to highlight the unique culture of Kelantan and Japan. Lau pointed out that at the time, Kelantan was still helmed by PAS, and its Menteri Besar Ahmad Yaakob and his deputy Muhammad Amar Abdullah were not only key leaders in PAS, but also held senior positions in the Shura Council and PAS Central Leadership. He said both the PAS Central Leadership and PAS Selangor must clarify the inconsistency of their actions. He added that if they fail to respond, this means the accusations and distorted remarks against Bon Odori are wrong, and people of all races and religions can attend the event as they used to do over the past years. Previously, Religious Affairs Minister Idris Ahmad told Muslims not to attend Bon Odori, claiming JAKIM had researched Bon Odori and it contained influences from non-Islamic religions. Selangor Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah, however, disagreed with the minister's view that the event was religious in nature and asked Idris to attend the event himself.
The government's approach on improving food security is flawed, according to a lawmaker. Here's why.
Gopeng MP Dr. Lee Boon Chye has criticised the government over their announcement to introduce a flexible ceiling price that changes according to price input factors to ensure food security in the country. In a post on Facebook, Lee shared an article on the announcement by Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob. and questioned if anyone in the cabinet understood economics. He said food security depends on production, not prices, and explained that when production and supply increases, prices will stabilize. He added that the government's role in this was to set policy to enhance food production and distribution. Lee called on the government to work towards removing burdensome bureaucracy, improving logistics and transportation, ensuring price transparency, and encouraging the modernization of food production. He added that the government must also collect and share a national database of domestic food production to assist farmers. He said this will reduce economic risk to farmers, ensure price stability, and avoid wastage due to overproduction. Yesterday, Ismail Sabri had announced several measures that will be taken by the government in a bid to ensure food security in the country. The Prime Minister said the introduction of flexible ceiling prices was one of the decisions reached during the Economic Action Council meeting.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Prasad. Thank you for watching.